Good morning. We just had a huge thunderstorm last night and got dumped on with lots of rain. And I just wanted to talk about the conditions of what I deal with being a seasonal business and outdoors. We had a fresh load of maple that was just on the tarp back there, and I didn't have a chance to spread it out, but it was starting to heat up last night to the point where it was almost composting. So I spread it out here just to kind of start cooling it down, and then it got dumped on with a lot of rain. So not a big deal, but these chips are pretty wet. You can kind of dig in here and they're a little bit dry, but they're almost at field capacity. So unless it warms up today, I'll just have to be careful how much water I add to this when I prep this for production. We'll mix in some bran and oyster shell tonight, and we'll pile this up. And as it gets warmer, we actually add a lot more water to this pile, and then we pile it up, and the water just kind of drains out overnight. Put a tarp over the pile to kind of slow down that draining. But when it's colder, we have to be careful how much moisture we do add, because it won't drain out and evaporate as fast. So these are just kind of some of the adjustments that we make. And just looking with how much rain actually poured on these wood chips, I'm not going to have to add that much moisture. Another cool thing is, one of our previous vlogs we were talking about these seals on these tanks. We've been playing around with a lot of different things, and I've been getting a lot of suggestions from everyone, whether it's email or on the YouTube channel, and I just haven't really had time to respond, but I've definitely read everything. What we seem to have gone with is the fireplace rope seal that you might see in those fireplaces that have the swinging door, and they have that heat seal with the rope. So we've used this rope and we've glued it on with silicone, and so far it seems to be working out great. We've done 2 trials so far. The rope definitely keeps the steam in the tank, so there's no leaks, and the silicone is holding, which is no surprise. So we're getting like this nice little sponginess when the lid is clamped on. And I like it. I like how the rope is kind of absorbing that, and the silicone is securing that, and it's not going to melt because our tanks don't get too hot. So that's probably what the direction we're going to go. I think it's like $1.60 a foot for this rope, and I don't really see it deteriorating. It's going to probably get gray and black over time just from the lids, but as long as it works, it's going to be a lot better than what we have. So really got warm yesterday before the thunderstorm. I wasn't sure if I was going to be doing a farmer's market this weekend, but everything caught up. So being a seasonal business, everything will grow a lot faster as it warms up, and then vice versa as it cools down. As we get into the fall, or definitely beginning of the season in the spring, everything grows a lot slower. So 2 days ago, these were just starting to pin out of the bags, and I really thought we'd start harvesting here by Sunday or Monday, but we're going to harvest a lot, and we're probably going to over harvest today. I'll probably bring about 60 or 70 pounds to the farmer's market. I've already covered most of the restaurants this week, kind of in the immediate area, but I still need to go to Kelowna, Oliver, and Osoyoos, so I'll start picking up those restaurants probably Sunday to Monday. We've been doing about 30 pounds of king oyster a day for the last 3 days out of greenhouse 4, and we're going to be harvesting a lot of pearl oyster out of greenhouse 5 today. So pretty much we have 3 shelves all right here. I don't want to be in here too long because I'm not wearing a mask, and there's definitely a lot of spores in here, but we must have at least 100 pounds or so to harvest. We have king oysters all the way up here and over here. Those king oysters we're probably going to start picking probably in a few days. It's definitely cooled down today with the thunderstorm that we had last night. So the king oysters will definitely be available probably Monday to Friday next week for most of our clients. Other than that, I'm going to be doing most of the harvesting today with Jerry. I'll kind of show you guys what we're doing with that in these two greenhouses here. We're looking to get greenhouse 2 finished. I have to reinstall a solenoid valve because we had 3 valves break this year. So we're going to get greenhouse 2 operational, get as many bags in there that we can today, and then hopefully have that full of production by early next week. And then that'll be all 4 of these greenhouses with new production that we would have started in February. And then I've shut down this greenhouse. This is the greenhouse we had all our overwintered production in, and it got to a point where it just was a waste of my time to go in there because I wasn't harvesting much, and the quality of mushrooms was beginning to not be as good. So I still need to perfect our overwintering. I haven't been completely convinced that this is the direction I want to go, but I do think it's interesting, and I think there might be a way for us to do it. A couple notes is, we had a really cold spring. It was probably like 3 weeks behind this year. So we look for our overwintering to kind of start fruiting mid-March and really get a nice crop beginning of April, but I didn't really start getting a decent crop until mid-April, and by then all the production we had done this February was starting to fruit in greenhouse 4. So we weren't really that much further ahead because of it. And the yield on our blocks didn't seem to be as good, and definitely the second flush wasn't as good, and we weren't getting like a consistent pin set throughout. Everything was growing sporadic. That might be strain selection. That might be we had a really cold winter and it went down to -20, -25 Celsius for weeks on end this year. So it might have been too cold, and we might have had some mycelium that just kind of had some frostbite and kind of dried out, and then we weren't just getting a good pin set. So I'll play around with it, and definitely I'll let you guys know. I'm sure I'm going to be doing some overwinter production this fall, but for now we're just focusing on our main production, and we're starting to produce a lot of mushrooms. So these are all going to be 8-pound baskets. Alright guys, that's going to be it for me today. We did get Greenhouse 2 operational, got the solenoid valve hooked up, and everything's working great. Got about maybe 200 blocks in there just to kind of get things started. Had a little bit of emergency in Greenhouse 1, started realizing that the CO2 levels were elevated. We were getting elongated stems of our mushrooms in here, and that's the first warning sign. So all the stems are starting to grow. You guys can see that. And we should have large fruit bodies, but we're actually getting these long stems growing out of the bags. So what I realized is that these windows are actually necessary. I started replacing the covers this year, and I didn't cut the windows out as I have for the last 4 years. So we got the CO2 reader in here, and everything was 1,100 parts per million. Should be about 650 for CO2. So we cut. I got Kara to cut these windows out, and all we have is tuck tape. But we got everything fixed, and we'll get some sail tape ordered in hopefully next week. But for now, I got these fancy red windows. Other than that, guys, that's gonna be it for me today. Hit the notification bell at the top of our channel if you guys want to see more videos like this. And we only have 6 days left for our WTF t-shirt campaign. I'll leave the link below. We're using that to upgrade our YouTube channel so that I can provide better content for you. Anyways, guys, stay tuned. More videos coming up. We'll talk to you soon.